Hi Mimi, regarding your comments yesterday in reference to flats, I believe you said shoot the exterior, the block of flats, and then shoot the front door of the property and link those together. And if so, doesn't imply that it's a ground floor flat next to the front entrance to the block of flats. Yes, that's a really good point. Generally speaking, the agent will, when they're walking through the property with the potential buyer, they will explain, I guess, what floor it's on. So yeah, I would say don't worry about that. Again, this is a new product. This is a new learning curve. The agents might come back to us at some point and say, actually, we don't want that, and we'll change it to something else, in which case, we'll obviously listen to them. So, but for now, that's what we've been told. If we haven't had any feedback regarding our 360s, does that mean that they are fine? Yeah, really good question. Generally speaking, yes. So we are feeding back regularly to all of the people who have any issues with their 360s, so that people are aware. And yeah, if you haven't heard anything, then that means that all is well. But if you would like me to double check for any reason, please send me an email. Your name is anonymous, so I don't know who you are, but just please send me an email, and I'll be happy to just quickly check for you. Okay, I've crashed doing my own property as the Wi-Fi picks up my home Wi-Fi, but haven't crashed while I've been out at a property. That's great. That is really, really good news. Yeah, interesting point about the home Wi-Fi. I didn't know that would be an issue, but obviously that seems to be a cause of the crash. So yeah, that's great. Also, if you guys have any pointers or tips, please feel free to add them as well. I point my camera the right way, SE2, but it never starts the tour in the right place. Okay, hi Rebecca. If you can send me an example, I've had somebody else say this as well. I've had one other person. So if you can send me an example of a tour where you are absolutely certain you are pointing the right way, just send it to me and I will send it to Vieweet, send it to me and just let me know what camera you're saying you're using the SE2. So just let me know if you're using the app or the desktop or the Ricoh app. And then I will send it to Vieweet, because if it is a Vieweet issue, that's where we can fix it. If it's an issue with the Ricoh app, unfortunately, I don't think there's much we can do about that at the moment. But if it is Vieweet, then Vieweet will definitely need to know about that. So that's really useful. So please send me an exact example, and I will firmly go to them and show them. Because again, this is coming straight from the client, so we want to make sure that that we are solving any problems that we can. And if there's a problem from our end, we definitely need to fix that, or from Vieweet's end. Okay, Rebecca, thanks for clarifying you're using the Vieweet app. Okay, perfect. So if you can just send me the exact tour, I will make sure that I feed that back to Vieweet. The thing is, when we're feeding back to Vieweet, we need to give them exact examples, and we need to tell them everything that we possibly can. So if you can also, when you email me, just let me know what phone you're using as well. Because yeah, the clients have really honed in on pointing the camera in the right direction and making sure that the tour, when you click a hotspot, is actually facing the way it should. So if the Vieweet app is causing any issues, then we need to let them know right away. So yeah, thank you for that. I will send an example, but I always use the Vieweet app and I go through it and change the start point. Okay, Rebecca, does the start point, when you change it in the app, does that actually work? Because if it works, that's great. I know they were having issues with it. We've been speaking to them all last week, all this week, and they're going to be doing an update this week. So yeah. For flats, we were told to start inside the building, outside the door to the flat, not outside. So yes, there has been a bit of back and forth about flats. but let me know who told you and when. If it was a really long time ago, then it could have been an updated procedure, but the clients have asked for externals of all tours. Tony, the reason for closing a door would be because it obstructs the view of the room. An exception. Yes, I think obviously there's going to be cases where you do need to use your own intuition, but I'd be curious to see an example of that, just to see how much it obscures the room. So yeah. I have been asked by vendors if photos and number plates, etc. will be blurred out to comply with GDPR. No, they will not be blurred out. So it's something that they can speak to the agent about, but we do not blur them out at our end. We ask that nobody edits their 360 tours, and that's going to have to be something that's taken with the agent. So some agents, I don't know if you're probably already aware, but some agents will list it online, and then some agents will just use the tour to show potential buyers on the smart viewing platform. So it's more of a one-on-one walkthrough. But if anybody is concerned, if any vendor is concerned, yeah, it would be good to let the agents know, and they can sort of speak to them about that. And also, if you can always take a photo and then we can take it away from our end or something if there is a problem, but we can never add a photo that isn't there, you know? So it's better just to take it anyway and then just get them to speak, or even let the agent know, but definitely just ask the vendor to call the agent on that. We were advised to have the camera at 90 degrees to a bright light source to get correct exposure. But you say to point the camera in the direction of the walkthrough. No, so I don't know where you've heard that or who advised you of that, but again, just please let me know. I'd be curious to know where that information came from, because it's the first that I've heard of it. We basically, the client really needs a really successful flow of the tour, so walking from one room to the other. In terms of the light source, yes, it used to be an issue before HDR was introduced, but HDR is now in the Vieweet app, so and it's automatically added to the photos, which makes a huge difference. Nobody has gone back to me about a 360 tour I have done. Does that mean everything has been correct? Yeah, so really similar question as before. If nobody has been in touch with you, then it means that everything's fine. So that's great. But again, if you do want some feedback just to make sure, or just for a peace of mind, please let me know. I'll be happy to check. And again, to reiterate sort of what I was saying at the beginning, we haven't been doing this feedback for a while, so we're starting it now, which is also potentially why you haven't heard anything. Okay. Do we get told if our 360s don't pass quality control so that we can take it on board for future? Yes, Rebecca, absolutely. That is what we are doing. We have an entire team dedicated to this, including myself. So some of you may have heard from me in the past week or so. We also have a few more people working on this. So if it doesn't pass, we will let you know to take it on board. What we are telling the clients is that we are letting all of our photographers know about this criteria to implement it for the future. So yeah, the consequences, and obviously what we don't want is, you know, for it to impact you. So we may ask for a revisit, we may ask to fix a hotspot, fix something in some way, shape, or form. But we obviously don't want that, especially don't want a revisit. So yeah. Okay, hi, is there an optimal height for the camera? I know eye level is too high. I tend to set the height to midpoint of the room. Hi Rob, I hope you're well. It's been a while. Yeah, the height of the camera is a really good question. It should just be slightly higher than your standard photos. So generally 5 feet, around 5 feet. And I think if you're saying it's set to the midpoint of the room, that should be about 5 feet. So yeah, 5 feet. Okay, when I look at my saved tours, they don't all have the first shot as the first image. When I go into the tour, it is there though. Oh, really interesting. It would be good to get some examples of that. I don't know if anybody has any has that issue as well, but it's the first I've heard of it. So really strange that it wouldn't show, but yeah, it'd be good to get an example of that. If you have any screenshots or something, please send them over. If the camera faced correctly, it doesn't follow that this will be the same in the tour. If you arrive at a point from another link, this varies the camera viewpoint. Okay, so if that's the case, Tony, again, I think this is an issue potentially with the app, so just let us know. Will the capacity per tour be increased in the future? I've had several tours of larger properties where capacity has reached its limit before the tours was complete. Yes, really good question. They're updating it. We're supposed to get an update as of 6 p.m. tonight. So if anybody has anybody has any saved drafts, please upload them right away, just so that you don't avoid the update affecting them. But yeah, they're updating that. So the capacity was 20, and they're changing that as of tonight, I believe. Okay, cool. So that's all the time we have for today, guys. I'll sort of go through the rest of your questions tomorrow and reply to you individually. But thank you so much for joining today. I hope this was useful. And I hope it all made sense. But of course, if you have any questions at all, please email myself or Tom. Again, it might not seem like a new product, but it is, and we're really trying to make the best of it, and it's ever evolving. So thank you guys for coming along for the journey. Yeah, thank you for joining tonight. We do have another session tomorrow at 5 p.m. The presentation will be the same, but we're going to have open Q&A at the end again as well. The questions were really good last night. The questions were really good tonight. And oddly enough, all different questions pretty much. So I'm sure that the questions tomorrow will be good as well. So yeah, thank you so much, guys, for joining, and hopefully see you tomorrow. If not, have a good weekend. Bye.